Greetings, connoisseurs of chaos. Well, welcome to the first of 4 video blogs charting my progress through Nanowrimo, or National Novel Writing Month, which I told a lot of you about in my last newsletter. So, how are things going? Well, I'm 9,000 words in, just a little over, to be honest, and it's going well, I have to say. I'm really enjoying it, feeling good. The characters are beginning to take a lead in the story, starting to take on a life of their own, which is kind of the way I like it. I do outline, and I'll be showing you a little bit about that in this video blog, but they're just signposts, and the characters really have to follow the signposts, and sometimes they go off the track, and that's often a good thing. Sometimes they have to be steered back on, but I'm getting in the zone in these sessions. I had another one this morning, and so far I've reached 9,000 words, as I say, and that's nearly a fifth of the way through the whole novel. Amazing, isn't it? A fifth of the way, and only 5 days in. It hardly seems right somehow. Things just shouldn't be this easy. There's bound to be little setbacks along the way, but I'm glad to report that progress is good. So what's on offer in this little video blog? I thought I'd give you an insight into the way I use Scrivener to not only outline the novel, but to actually write it. So I'll spend a few minutes doing that with you. I'll then show you a brief overview of the Nanowrimo dashboard, show you my statistics, see how that's going. I've then got a couple of video shorts showing 2 locations that have influenced the writing of the novel, which I hope you find interesting. So I'll leave it there for the moment. We'll go over to the next little segments, and I'll see you at the end of it for a roundup. So here we are. I'm bringing up the Scrivener file first. So this is what it looks like. The novel is called Mycophoria, and you'll see here down the left I've sectioned it out into synopsis, a prologue, followed by all the chapters that I'm going to write. I've put down an epilogue there. There may or may not be an epilogue. Such things are frowned on sometimes, as are prologues. But, you know, if I want to break that rule, I will do. As well as that, we've got the characters, which I'll share a little bit about in a minute. What else have we got in here? Well, let's start with why not the first chapter, because this is what I've actually uploaded to a Dropbox location. It's a secret Dropbox location, which you can access if you join Kings and Queens of Chaos. And it opens with a character called Jane Milner. Don't get too attached to her. I'll just say that much. Don't get too attached to her. Now, this sets the scene for the story and forms one of many little vignettes, if that's the way you pronounce it. Very much in the style of James Herbert when he wrote his books like The Fog and The Dark and The Rats. He would take a particular scenario with a character or two, paint that out and make it part of a much broader story, and I've deliberately gone along those lines. So interspersed between those they're all called Jim Alberton. So chapter 2 is Jim Alberton. This is the main protagonist in the story, and I've got him under my characters here, Jim Alberton. Let's take a look at him. And many of you may recognize this picture. Yes, you're right. It's a fairly young Stephen King, probably in his 30s. And for some reason, I couldn't get the image out of my mind that this is what Jim Alberton would look like. So there's the character profile. He's, it says he's a physiologist. I actually changed that in the novel. He's become a ecological geneticist, or a genetical ecologist, whichever way you want to say it. Works for a private company. He's got a bit of an OCD personality, very obsessive, very serious. And there's a few other details here about him, and I haven't wanted to paint too much because I like the characters to flesh themselves out as the story goes on. I'll share another character. I'm not sure how big a part this girl's going to play in the story. She's called Sarah Burko, and she's an unexpected friend. That's simply how I've described her, and she's the character that I relate to in the little video snippet that comes after this that I show you when on top of that little hill in our hometown. And I say, I can't remember the name of the girl. Well, this is the girl. So not quite sure exactly what part she's going to play yet, but she will play a part, put it that way. So those are the characters, those are the chapters, that's the overall idea behind it. Those of you who looked very closely may have noticed something very familiar. This chapter here called Special Pupil. It was actually a short story in my collection called Defiled Earth, which many of you have. And this formed the basis, the embryo, if you like, of the story, of the whole novel. And I'm including it in here. It's not going to be part of that 50,000 word count because I've written it already. I will modify it. I might change the point of view. But it's where I introduce this whole idea of this disease that is based on a fungus that's lying dormant for hundreds of thousands of years and suddenly emerges in present day times and wreaks havoc in a local community. So enough of Scrivener. That is that. I've done this in the wrong order. I was going to show you the dashboard for National Novel Writing Month, so here it is coming up. Share this with you. So this is my dashboard page, my profile page, and there's the novel Mycophoria with the working cover. It probably won't end up exactly like that. I'll farm that out to someone to do. So the statistics are here. There you go, 9,202 words. You can earn little badges and things if you want to. This shows the progress, shows that I'm on track, and it also somewhere tells me how I'm doing in terms of my overall stats, if I can find it, which I can't at the moment. You see, I'm just getting used to this. Anyway, you can go to a different page and it tells me how many words that I've got to continue writing to reach my target, which it stands at something like 1,500 odd. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. So this is kind of a bit weird. Here I am on top of a hill in our local town, and it's the setting for one of the scenes later on in the book called Mycophoria. But I thought I'd just take a few shots of this on this rather rainy day. So here we are looking out over my hometown. You can see the view through the trees there. As I said, the rain's coming down fairly hard at the moment. If we pan to the north, we can see a rather cloudy view of Scotland. So here we are in the very north of England technically, but people feel that it is neither England nor Scotland, which is why we call it Middleland. Well, I do. So the top of here, this little mound of earth, is a scene or setting which I've used for a scene in the story of Mycophoria. And it's a meeting between the protagonist, a chap called Jim Alberton, and a mysterious unknown girl, at least unknown to him. But shall she remain so? You'll have to read the novel to find out. If we pan back, you'll see this chappie here, standing on top of his plinth. This is a former earl of a castle, in fact, a castle and its estates, which isn't too far away from here. And his descendants still own it. And he's standing on top there, master of all he surveys. I wonder what he's thinking. Probably something like, "This is mine, all of it, no one else shall have it." And finally, we look to the south, and through the trees there, if it was a clear day, you'd see the Pennines, which was the setting for my story, Defiled Earth. So there we are. That's the first of some of the scenes that I'll share with you for the coming book, Mycophoria. So I'm doing a bit of a voiceover on this one. I didn't dare speak because it's a bit like a library. This is Bookcase, a shop, probably the best bookshop in the north of Cumbria, in Carlisle. And here's me coming upstairs, working my way through its labyrinthine corridors. It's quite an experience coming in here. Here I am passing through the social sciences and military history section and finding my way through to my favourite part of the whole shop. Here we are. this is a bit weird. Here I am in bookcase, in my favourite little corner. This is the science fiction and fantasy section. And, well, as you can see, it's a right treasure trove. I'm not sure if I'll see anything that I'll be able to buy today, because I was in just the other day. There's a few nice editions of Stephen King here. Some of these are first editions. There we go, The Dark Half. I've got that one though. But yeah, people have been known to get locked up in here. I even think they found the odd skeleton. Not really, but you could just imagine it. Very easy to get lost. Anyway, one of my favourite places in the world. Well, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it. So this is roundup number 1, video blog number 1. There will be 3 others in the month of November. The link that I may have mentioned, I can't remember whether I have, but the link to the first chapter of the novel you can find on the closed Facebook group called Kings and Queens of Chaos. And if you aren't a member of that yet, then there'll be a link in the comment section below that you can follow. You can join up there and access that first chapter. It's a fairly rough draft, cleaned up a little bit just so you can read it, and I would like your feedback on that. And it would be great for you to respond either on the YouTube channel where it's posted, or on Kings and Queens of Chaos, or you can reply to the email which goes out to all subscribers. And by the way, if you do not subscribe to the email roundup, the email newsletters yet, then you can easily do that by visiting my website, and in the process get a free copy of my starter library. So what's not to like, as they say. Right, that is it. So all that remains for me to say is Excelsior, and I will see you next time.